I feel like one of the most annoying things about writing college essays is that two prompts will be so similar. Like, Caltech has this one prompt, and it's like, what do you want to study now and what do you want to study in the future? And then there's other one that's like, what activated your curiosity? Ugh. Basically, I have to write one about phantom limb pain, and I have to write the other about Parkinson's disease. So Parkinson's disease in one, phantom limb pain in the other. Then the third one is gonna be like a STEM power essay, and I have no idea how I'm gonna like write something that makes STEM power something that activates my curiosity. Like, what? What? How do I do that? I know one of them has to be activity related, so it's like, okay, fine. But it's like, how? What is STEM power doing for my curiosity? Let's continue forward with working on this essay. Okay. You know, I really hate writing. Right, I can't like close the window or it stops recording. Wait. Okay, now we should be good that we're keeping the window open. But anyway, I literally hate writing essays when I can't reuse stuff that I've already written. An extra thought, yeah. Okay. It's moody, but maybe less moody. Anyway, writing new anything is just like the worst, and it's part of the reason why I haven't written anything for my STEM power essay, because I don't want to think of new ideas for you. Like, I simply don't. Well, I'm back from the Dream 3 office. Things actually went well. I finally figured out how I'm going to connect the middle of my Common App essay with the end of my Common App essay, and how I'm going to, you know, link it up with my research and be like science kid essay. Because obviously I have to be a science kid to whatever the hell. So yeah, that went well. Didn't talk about my activity list, so that was like, and I also got my college list approved, so I can start working with IRAS. So we're starting on that, and what else do I have to talk about? Right, I have to make my history presentation now. It's me and Rookie, and our topic is the party state. Wow, a party. Fuck, I'm using the wrong mic. I'm using the right mic. Our presentation is on the party state, and I'm gonna turn on my rain noises, and we're gonna get going. I think. Yeah. First, let's find the history textbook, and I'm doing the second part of the chapter. I hate doing the second part of the chapter, but you know, it's alright, because I told her that she could give me whatever she wanted, and therefore, let's get my history textbook. And the worst part is, since Rookie is doing the first part of the chapter, she only has to read the first part of the chapter to be able to give her presentation, but I have to read the whole chapter so I can give my presentation on the second half of the chapter. So actually she's giving me more work. I don't think she's thinking about it like that, but that's the truth. That is the hard truth of the matter. So let's get started. We're following this textbook as the main textbook, so this is the one that I have to look at for how I'm going to structure my presentation. Let's open it up to the party state. Starting off, we have a nice little diagram of Hitler at the top, then President, Reich Chancellors, the party, Führer's personal chancellery, structure of Nazi party leadership. And you'd think that like all the Himmler, Hess, Göring, Goebbels people would be on here, But actually, it's a bunch of people that I've never heard of, except for this one, Rudolf Hess. He's the only one I've heard of. So that's interesting. You'd think that they'd keep the same main characters for every season, but no, we're switching it up. We're switching it up. So, an overview of this chapter is that the party's role in the running of the country after 1933 was poorly defined. This, if you remember, you wouldn't remember, but I remember from the Hitler State chapter, was basically just talking about how Hitler didn't really like formal documentation, nor did he like writing anything down. He literally just would like nod his head, and that was how he would give orders. So sometimes his orders would contradict each other and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what it means by chaos. He just kind of let his Gauleiters and whoever just do whatever they wanted, and he would let them keep their job if they were doing a good job. So yeah, continuing on. The law to ensure unity of party and state of December 1934 did little to clarify this, and in a speech to Gauleiter on 2nd February of 1934, Hitler stressed that the party role was limited to spreading propaganda and supporting the government. However, as the regime consolidated its power, so party institutions challenged those of the state. Now, we didn't have that much of an issue with this in terms of terror because the SS just kind of absorbed the Orpo and Kripo, I think they were called. Basically, like the police that were already around, the SS just absorbed them into it. So then the party organization just, what's the word? Became coherent, combined, whatever the hell. They became the same thing under the same person, so they didn't really have to fight each other the same way that they must have had to in other places. So, the Reich Chancellery under Hans Heinrich Lammers increasingly coordinated the government and drew up legislation. Although Lammers was influential in that he was in control of information he passed to Hitler, the Chancellery's power was undermined by the emergence of other equally powerful agencies, such as Bormann's Departments 1 and 2 mentioned below. Okay. In 1934, Hitler appointed Rudolf Hess as Führer's deputy for party affairs, thereby increasing the power exercised by Hess and his chief of staff, Martin Bormann. Hess now supervised drafting of new laws and the government appointments. As party leaders, Hess and Bormann ensured the party's increasing domination over the state civil service. The Kreisleiter district party leaders also had increased their political influence at the local level, especially after being given the right to choose local mayors by Reich local government law of January 1935. Bormann set up his own party organization that rivaled that of the Reich Chancellery. There were two main departments in Bormann's organization, Department 2, which ran party affairs, and Department 3, which managed party-state relations. The party's influence reached new heights during the war. On 30th August of 1939, the Ministerial Council for the Defense of the Reich was set up. In September 1939, leading Gauleiter became Reich Defense Commissioners and began to assume total control in their regions. In May 1941, Hess flew to Scotland in an attempt to make peace with Britain. This left Bormann with considerably greater influence as head of the party. With Keidel and Lammers, he formed the Committee of Three to isolate rivals. The committee bypassed government departments in an attempt to coordinate and simplify decision-making. Its success, however, was limited because of Hitler's reluctance to antagonize interests of the committee was opposed by Goebbels and Speer. In 1934 and 1943, Bormann was appointed the Führer's secretary, which again strengthened the party in its relation with the state. As the war approached its end, so Hitler turned to the party, which he increasingly believed to be the only true loyal organization remaining, especially after the bomb plot of 1944. In August 1944, the Gauleiter were given comprehensive local powers as Reich Defense Commissioners. By the end of the Third Reich, it was Bormann who held the power in the bunker, and the party had emerged as the most powerful agency in Germany. This is actually pretty surprising to me because this contrasts greatly with the conditions in Soviet Russia, where the Bolsheviks and the party essentially became one. If you rose up in the party, you rose up in the Bolshevik state. And they were pretty unified like that. I didn't realize that in Nazi Germany it was a bit different, where the party was still separated from the regular government, yet you would still want your party to have direct power over policy, but at the same time you've already got your people who are like making actual like rules and legislation. So that is interesting and confusing, which means that this chapter will take longer than I initially anticipated, which is not nice. The other chapter was wildly confusing upon first read, so that was the loss in terms of that chapter. However, with this chapter, it's probably just long. It is about 9 pages. I don't know if that's long, but things are certainly happening. Let's take a look in the other textbook to see if we have some extra information on Mr. Bormann and his role in Nazi Germany. You know, my last history answer was so bad because I did half at night and then I expected to do the second half in the morning, but then I realized that in the morning, I realized I was greasy and I didn't want to go to school greasy, and not even doing pigtails were helping my greasiness. So instead of doing my homework, I chose to shower, and I thought I knew I wouldn't have enough time, but I thought I'd figure it out somehow because I always do, and then the second half of my answer ended up being like really shit because of it, and she's gonna read it and she's gonna be like, this is really shit towards the end. The argument isn't balanced at all, and it'll just not be a good time. And you know, I'm not looking forward to getting that answer back because I am not looking forward to having my trash essay handed back to me. Like, here you go, you did terrible. Thanks, babes. Good to know. Good to know. That is it for now. I'm going to give you my presentation later on when I'm done with it. Maybe I'll give you a progress update in the middle when I get bored, but otherwise that is it for now. Start seriously studying. I realize that I need to pee and I'm gonna grab some tea as well, so hopefully I can have a nice cozy study sesh. Not that cozy because obviously I'm still dressed in like not pajamas, but if I sit here in pajamas I don't think I'll be able to study because pajamas is like I'm sleeping immediately. Like when I change I'm not working. Like I cannot work unless I'm wearing like clothes, and I think that I need to make this association with my brain that unless I'm dressed slaying then I can't work. And that's why I think I put on eyeliner. I think it's like a mental thing that like the better I look, the better I will work. I don't know if it's true, but honestly I kind of want to build that association because then I can like have an excuse and that would be fun. So yeah, chai is coming, not biscuits though, and besides that, right, being in chai, that's important. Also water, water, peeing, chai, good combo, thanks. I may or may not have been spilling tea the entire way up here, but I have my water and I have my tea. I'm just waiting for it to thum. I don't know the word. Again, so I peed, got my water. Mama told me to change, so I'm gonna change from this into my hoodie. And I'm waiting for, I literally said that I'm waiting for my tea to brew like 10 gazillion times now. But that's what's happening. So let's put on the hoodie and then I'll pour myself a cup of chai and then I will continue studying. Honestly, just to make it easier for myself, I think I'm just gonna like put the hoodie on, just the tank top, take off the bra, and then it'll be pajamas if I just change out of my jeans. Perfect. But I'm gonna do that later. It's hoodie time. I look a lot less slay, but, you know, whatever. Okay. Right, T. Are you on? It's not on. Turn back on.
Battery 30%. Connected to Zalina's MacBook Air.
Fuck off. I wanted to give you some nice tea mixing ASMR. With the jazz and the rain aesthetically, but I started spilling it when I started bringing the mug over, and then I was like, what am I gonna do with the spoon if it's over here? So instead I just brought my tea over, and you're gonna like miss out on the ASMR, but it's okay because you can just make your own tea, and that is what I encourage you to go and do. Before that, I had a thought just now while I was thinking about how I'm not that slay. I was just thinking that it would be great to have a life experience where it's the quiet of the night, the dead of night, it's raining and there's jazz playing and it's dark and I hear it's whispered in my ear, you look slay, darling. I would love, darling, you're so slay. You're so slay, darling. Like slay and darling in the same sentence. Just please. It doesn't have to be in a British accent. Just anyone. Can you please just, darling, you're so slay. Darling, you're so slay. Darling, you're so slay. You're so slay, love. This is so cringe. But love, you're so love. I don't know. I used to call her love. Maybe that is cringe, but I liked it, and she liked it, and certainly didn't like it enough. But here we are today. I don't get when in songs it's like, I wish I never met you. Because it's like, what could possibly have been so painful that you don't even want to take what you learned from it with you forward? That's what I don't get. Maybe I'll get it in the future, but I certainly don't get it now because I had a great time until the end. I had a great time. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm over it. Like, I don't even know, but I feel like I'm over it. Anywho, time for history.